There is a request here to have you recommend a good anime series for a newcomer to the genre.
From like this year or from
They don't
all
specify.
time?
So I would say you could, if they're a newcomer to anime, I think you've got free reign.
All right.
Please do not choose anything from this season.
No.
It's that one.
This is straight garbage.
No Monster Musume.
Yeah, no.
I don't recommend that.
Okay, a series. I mean, probably the first thing to watch to set like a good baseline actually is just you should start watching some Ghibli movies. And you should probably watch My Neighbor Totoro, and you should watch Spirited Away, and
Castle in the Sky, Nausicaa,
and Kiki's Delivery Service. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those five are probably like the best ones to start with if you want to watch all of them, because you probably will. You might want to leave Grateful of the Fireflies until close to the end, because it's really good and you're gonna hate yourself.
Yikes.
But then, like, first stuff to watch, you're probably gonna think.
That's like tough to answer that question.
Well, what's funny is that like everybody always recommends the Adult Swim stuff, and that's for a good reason. It's very like easy to go mass market
Yeah,
and
it's
watch
like,
those
just
things.
watch Akira and Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, it's like
That's for very specific people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you should probably start by watching Cowboy Bebop. Everybody recommends that for a reason. It's intensely watchable. The music's very good. It's all episodic, so it's like you can sit down and watch a thing and then get through it and go on to something else.
I want to be Spike when I grow up.
If you want to go, you could Macross Plus is another really good one.
Oh,
'cause it's
wow.
short.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, and then what else do I have on my shelf that I've really enjoyed?
It's just like the all-time like must-watch
Yeah,
stuff.
and there's people who'll be like, you should watch Evangelion, and I'm like, no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't watch that. Maybe until you're
Save it for later.
Yeah.
That's like advanced.
a year or two in. You should
Yeah.
watch either the original TV series, or you should watch the movies. Probably the TV series so you get a better sense of what goes on.
Yeah.
Hard though, because when you watch stuff that came out of the 90s or the early 2000s,
It's very odd its time.
well, and it's all 4:3, and it's going to look weird, and it's going to be like, everything's not quite right, and it's like because you're not watching it in the time context in which it was made, but there's a lot of stuff that's more timeless, and so...
and like Evangelion exists like very specifically as a response to the first Gundam series,
Yeah.
right?
Also as a functional commentary on the otaku culture at the time of its making.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
kind of an up yours to like
Its own audience.
Which is not really relevant
like,
today. Evangelion is kind of like the Watchmen of anime.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh,
And so, because if you were to watch it now, you might be like, I don't get what they're doing that's so revolutionary. It's like, of course you don't, because you don't have the grounding in it, and that's fine.
Which is actually very interesting, because the Evangelion movies are like the Watchmen movies.
I also think you could actually start with anything that's in Shonen Jump, because that's made kind of for a mass market.
Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, I mean, they're all perfectly functional. You might find that as you watch them, you're like, this seems like it's the same thing over and over. Which is like watching...
Oh god, beach.
Reverse.
Beach.
It's like watching...
Got it?
What do you... Yeah, it's like watching Dragon Ball Z, right? Dragon Ball Z. Or watching Sailor Moon. It's like, okay, these things are staples of the community
Can
for
I
what
just
reason?
say, if you wanted to watch Dragon Ball Z, just watch the abridged series. No, like honestly,
Isn't it
it's
called
really
Dragon Ball
funny.
No. I think he's referring to watch
No,
Dragon
the
Ball
abridged
Bridge.
series by Team 4 Star.
But
It's-
Kai also is
Yeah,
a way to
also
go.
Kai.
Because it's really funny, and it actually tells the story with all the junk removed.
But this is also kind of what Kai does.
Kai's just the legitimate.
It just
version of
tells it straight, yeah. There were a couple of people in chat, I saw some people mentioning Madoka. Leave Madoka till later.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's also
doing
later.
a lot of the same kinds of things that Evangelion was doing in its era, and you probably want to leave that until
Maybe
at
after you
least you have some familiarity with the magical girl genre.
Sailor Moon actually might not be a good one. Not Crystal, but the real one.
Yeah, watch the original, watch Cardcaptor Sakura. Like, once you get a sense for what a Magical Girl series is like and the kind of things that they do, then I could say you could go watch Madoka Magica, because then you're understanding what they're trying to do there.
Yeah.
Do we want to lay Nichijou on them?
No.
Not immediately.
Nichijou's wonderful if you know, like, if you're a fan of absurdist humor. Nichijou also can be very Japanese in how absurd the humor is too, which is like if you don't understand why something is a certain way. I think it's definitely hilarious. Yeah.
I think
If you like it, you will love it.
And here's another debate we shouldn't have right now, but is also important. The shows we're really recommending for you to begin with, you can generally watch as a sub or a dub.
Yep.
And it's okay both ways.
Except for the original Sailor Moon.
Good adventure series. if you're thinking, if you're trying to think of like, okay, what are the good adventure series or like romances and stuff to watch? Escaflowne, The Vision of Escaflowne is an amazing show.
Oh, yeah.
And it's an amazing show for good reason. Fullmetal Alchemist, you can either watch the first one, but Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is supposed to be a better imagining of what goes on in the story. So those are also 2 series you can watch, and you'll find that they're both going to be quite good.
Macross Plus, Macross
Yeah, we
7, and
Yeah, Macross 7 is a lot of fun, and people get really angry at it, which I think is very unfair, because Macross 7 is just a fun series. It's about a guy who's like, I can save space with my music. Macross Frontier is amazing.
Yeah.
But I wonder if you don't understand what Macross is about, which is about the power of music to actually win wars, you're not gonna like Macross Frontier so much, but it looks astounding and sounds great.
There's a lot of
Did
background
we
that's missed
touch
out
on Cowboy Bebop, which is
Yes.
like
We
Babby's
started
first
there.
anime?
We started
Okay.
there.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah.
I want to supplement.
Alright, well that's probably plenty to chew on.
I don't think we can do that challenge, by the way, Alex, because I can't find the necessary equipment.
Really? I could have sworn.
Oh wait, no, I can just use that. Fuck.
But
No,
yes,
fuck.
please.
Thank you. There were also a bunch of people mentioning FLCL or Furikuri in the chat. That's a
pretty
game.
weird.
That is a
Hard row to hoe.
hard tier
That's just like going.
anime. You don't want to watch that until you are fluent in anime conventions
Yeah, you
because
want-
it will literally
Gynax.
yeah, I mean it
Fluent
mostly
Gynax.
Gynax, but it will make no sense.
I love-
it will just be nonsensical until you
So,
know
as
it.
for everybody in the chat who's yelling out Trigun, I would say if you're going to ever watch Trigun, I say, yeah, make that one of your first ones you're going to watch,
It's good.
because it's a good show.
It's also very old.
Yeah, it's
Well, not
Cowboy,
very
it's Cowboy
old.
Bebop age, right?
yeah.
But I have watched Trigun a couple of times, and I've found that I'm kind of like, I don't need to watch it over and over. It's one of those shows where I'm like, I don't think that I could stand to watch it over and over. If you can get it on Netflix or something, watch it on there. People are mentioning things like Ranma. That's a deep cut.
Can I just, like, speaking of deep cuts, can I chuck Sort of a Stranger right in the middle here?
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen that. I don't
It's
think.
real good.
Hey Beach, how about Inferno Cop?
Trigger stuff really hard. Like
That depends.
Trigger's like Gynax. If you watch anything that Studio Trigger's done, like okay, what's their most accessible thing they've done?
That's because Trigger was Gynax.
Yeah.
We're forgetting a really
Oh,
important
Little
one.
Witch Academia is
Little
Trigger's most accessible.
Yes.
Yes, Little Witch
Oh,
Academia.
yeah.
Please put that in your eyes.
Yeah.
You will never
Oh,
know.
Castle of Cagliostro.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
First thing you watch. Period.
Yes.
I mean, he's not even joking. It's really good.
I've only recently started getting anime, and a couple years ago I started with Samurai Champloo.
Yeah,
That was really good.
I own a copy of that. I like it well enough.
It's happening.
It's never like the first thing I would recommend to anybody because you might find it what a weird thing to make with all this hip hop music and then this story that happens in the Meiji era.
Yeah.
I love Rurouni Kenshin. There's a certain part where everyone says stop watching it because it just kind of
Kyoto? Is
dips.
that it?
My first anime was Yatakata Japan.
Pretty sure.
Oh
she is.
wow!
That
deeps
so
dip-
I remember hearing
Dips
it.
so deep on the shonen thing. There's a lot like people are mentioning. I see Lane go by and I'm like, yeah, Lane, hard thing to watch if you don't know what anime is all about. So
Especially if you're not expecting what it's going
yes,
to be
and
about.
leave that till later. Outlaw Star though is a fun that came out around the same time that Cowboy Bebop came out. That's a good show as well to watch.
Whoever it was in the chat that mentioned Excel Saga, I love you, but
Yeah.
wait on that one.
Maybe start
oh,
with Lazmar.
hello.
First.
Yeah.
We're curious.
No, yeah,
I'm talking
about
Tayo.
anime.
That's